This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Hi there. Today I want to get a little bit intimate with you. I want to open up my heart and share a little bit of what's going on in my life. So the beginning of this podcast, I usually say, live from Los Angeles, we come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. And today may be one of the last podcasts that I say those exact words because I'm moving. I am officially moving to West Palm Beach in Florida, and I am in the middle of a move. So today I'm going to break on down some of the parts of life where it's time to have a new chapter. It's time to let go of a new environment or something. It could be your career, it could be a relationship, it could be energetic ties to something. There's always a rebirth. And today I want to talk to you about the move, which really is a rebirth and putting yourself in an environment where you truly thrive. So let's break this on down. Live from Los Angeles, we come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We truly believe that when somebody awakens, they have a gift and message to bring to the world, and together we're awakening the world. So this is Dr. Erin, Doctor of Divinity, teaching metaphysics of mind and reprogram the subconscious mind, E4 trauma method, and all the great things to develop world-renowned spiritual leaders. So, yep, I am moving. It's official. And I want to share my journey with you because it's so clear that the decision of mind is what the universe really is just responding to. It just is saying yes. All the universe does is say yes. And I have to just share that the last year it's been, interesting. Let's just put it that way. That's one way of spiritual people saying that's effed up. Instead, we just say, that's interesting, right? So when the pandemic happened, began to get locked down and everything, whatever that was, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I actually pivoted within 3 breaths because I had been through 2008, and 2008 was a really intense time for my generation anyway. I had a lot of friends that lost everything to their name. A lot of them came and lived on my sofa in the interim of trying to figure out their lives. And I remember waiting. I remember watching TV and the news and getting a lot of fear-based parts of my body and mind and spirit and all the above. And so when the lockdown came about, the pandemic came about, I had learned that lesson. And the greatest lesson I think I learned out of 2008 was to not wait, that to pivot and create and always know that in that there's all innovation. And so when the lockdown began this time around, I innovated super quick. Our community and our company and everything, we pivoted fast and we served and we thrived. Like we did really well through the entire time. We have been thriving. We have been growing. We have been scaling. We're doing really well as a company. And I really felt honored to be there as a pillar of strength for my community and for all the people out there during this, during the lockdown. So the first year of the lockdown, kind of went by, and certain areas of the world were not locked down a lot, and others, like Australia, were really locked down. In Los Angeles, we were pretty locked down. And what happens is just like, there's that visual and that metaphor of the elephant that has a big chain on it when it's little and it can't get away. So it learns to stay within a few feet of the stake, if you will. And then as there's this other picture of this elephant that now is this ginormous elephant, and it has like a teeny little chain on it to a little chair in the middle, and it could actually just walk off. But the elephant doesn't know, because we are habitual beings. We are energetic beings. We create, and then we experience being the effect of what we create. It's not the truth. We can always recreate. We can always create from nothing. That's the truth. But we have to have a consciousness that's strong enough, if you will, to remember that and to do something about it, if you will. So the second year of the lockdown, I started noticing myself that I began to isolate a little bit more and more. Still being, we have an amazing community online, and I have some really dear friends in Los Angeles that I would go on walks with and hang out with. But I began to notice that my environment, my body, my soul was speaking to me, really saying it's time to leave here, and I was listening and I knew it was time. And Spirit also was saying, get prepared. So I was focusing a lot on the mission and business and everything else. But I knew it was a matter of time. And so the last year I've been searching and searching and searching, really inside and without, to, what is the next chapter? What does it look like? Does it look like me moving to different home in Los Angeles? Does it look like me moving to Orange County? Does it look like me going up to Santa Barbara? Does it look like me leaving the country? Does it look like me going to Florida? Does it look like me going to Texas? Does it look like Dallas? Does it look like everything? And I began to inquire and feel into it within my soul. And the reason why I'm telling you is because we all have to make decisions. Some decisions are easier than others, and some take a lot of strength and courage and have, big cause and effect to them. So I would pray and meditate on it. And what would happen was I began to feel and know that maybe it wasn't one location, because when I would go into prayer and meditation, I would have the feeling of tropics. I would also feel the love still for Beverly Hills and that lifestyle of a Beverly Hills of, just beautiful things and material world and abundance of wealth and in the material world. And I would also feel like a Santa Barbara, a grounded in part of Santa Barbara where I grew up. Very, there's parts of Santa Barbara that are very yuppie, of course. There's parts of Santa Barbara that are very grounded in with mother. The oak trees and the ground there is very grounded in. So I kept searching. And one day I stumbled upon West Palm Beach, Florida. I had known about Miami. I'd known about a couple things, but I never heard of it. Honestly, I never knew about it. And the moment I saw it online, I kind of gasped, like, whoa, like, wow. I had a knowing straight away. I saw the pictures, and that's how it works, intuitively. It's like there's an alignment, okay? And it kind of sparks. And I began to research a little bit more, and I started really having this love for West Palm Beach, Florida. So what did I do? I booked a flight. It was only whatever, a couple weeks ago or something. It feels like a couple years ago. And I went out with the intention of one thing and one thing only. And I went out to know, because my soul speaks to me clearly. It's either a hell yes or it's a hell no. So I jumped on the plane, and my flight arrived in, I think it was like 7:30 or something like that. And I got a good hotel and stuff, but I want to kind of cruise around. I thought, well, I could at least cruise around for a little bit at night and just see the area first, and I'll explore more in the middle and in the morning. So I drove up first thing. I just drove out to Palm Beach, and naturally it led me to this incredible vision of this big building out there, which is called the Breakers Hotel. And it's like a mini castle. It's like huge. And so I drove up and I thought, well, there's this gate here, and they probably only let people in that are staying there. And they said, no, come on in. So I drove up, I walked in, and immediately was like, wow, this is really beautiful. And I just wanted to see the ocean. So I walked through the halls, down the hall, and all of a sudden I walked to the door to go out to the ocean. And when I opened the door, it was like this warm tropical breeze hit me at a soul level. And it was the day after the full moon. So it was essentially a full moon. And it was one of the most beautiful full moons I'd ever seen in my entire life. There was these clouds going by it, and it was the most mystical looking thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And I knew in that moment I was home. I'm going to cry right now because I knew it was the next chapter for me to have. And no, I didn't know one person in West Palm Beach, Florida. And my son is, in Scottsdale, and my family's all over on the West Coast. And I have thousands and thousands of friends along the West Coast. But I knew something like, oh, okay, here we go. It's like a divine assignment. And so I'm telling you this for you, because for me, the divine assignment is this. My number one priority in my life is my mission. This is why I'm here. I'm here to bring truth and, really bring universal law and understanding the energetic ties that we create in ourselves here in this lifetime. And every time I pray, every time I ask for one thing and one thing only, and it is to be used for the highest good. And so I always ask, what is the one thing for me to do for the mission? And every time I've been going into prayer for the last year, my true self, my higher self says, it's rejuvenation. You need to get tapped into Mother Nature, and you need to be really in that flow of that bliss, of that high frequency where your body feels good, your mind feels good, you're one with nature, you have a balance to this whole thing. And so for me, it was a divine calling. It's a divine calling for me to go out there because it's really beautiful. And so one of the days I was out there, I went on a friend's boat with some people and I went in the ocean. And the ocean was 85 degrees and it was as blue as blue. And I literally swam in the ocean for an hour and I didn't want to get out. I felt it was just so beautiful because here I live in California and you'd think you'd spend a lot of time at the beach. Well, I don't. And not only do I don't, but when I do, I rarely go in the ocean because it's really cold, and I will on occasion, but rarely. And so I knew that my soul was calling from my body to be able to get back in the water and be healed from the electronics, be healed from a lot of the isolation during the pandemic, and just get one in the flow of the beauty and the divine and the goddess and the God within. And so this is a divine calling. And the reason why I'm having this podcast, the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, I actually recorded different podcasts for this day, but I was so inspired to do one for you guys because I want you guys to listen. I want you to listen to your soul. I want you to listen and really take a deep breath in right now and ask yourself, what do you need? What do you need to really thrive? Going beyond, FOMO, going beyond what you think keeping up with the Jones looks like. What do you need to really thrive, to take care of yourself and rejuvenate and become the highest frequency and bring your stress levels down, whatever that is? Because this is what I know for sure, teaching metaphysics, teaching the subconscious mind, reprogramming, understanding universal law and how it works. It works one way. It works by what energetic you're holding at a soul level. And so the most important thing, if we want miracles, if we want magical lives, if we want to really, truly turn on our powers, if we want to experience the fullest expression of ourselves, we have to be in bliss. And it's okay. It means also we don't resist non-bliss, but we really follow our bliss. As Joseph Campbell said, sacrifice and follow your bliss. But most people forgot the sacrifice part. They just said, follow your bliss. Well, sacrifice means that you have to have discipline. There is a daily spiritual practice. There are, disciplines of living on spiritual principle and only energizing what you do want instead of what you don't want. There's all kinds of things in that sacrifice and bliss. And so I'm asking and requesting and calling as someone who loves you, what do you need today to do in bold action for you to live your greatest life? Because what I know for sure is that the world needs to redefine what we think success is. Success is not making, hundreds of millions of dollars and being, burnt out and, getting so stressed out that you start getting dis-ease and your relationships fall apart, but you're driving a Ferrari. That's not success in my eyes. And we each need to define what we define success as. We all have different levels of what we think it is. And so after I went down there to West Palm Beach, I knew. And then you get, everyone wants their little 2 cents. Oh my gosh, that's great, but you should really be down in Miami. Oh, you should be in Boca Raton. Oh, are you sure you want to do that? Everyone has their 2 cents. And so, it's been a big discipline the last couple of weeks to stay true to that knowing. I even started booking a flight, thinking maybe I should go back and go to Miami for a minute. And I was like, wait a second, Erin, what are you doing? When you know, it's already spoken through. So don't question your knowing. That's what giving our power out to the external world does, is we give our power over and then we question that knowingness within. And so my invitation is to not look without, to go within and ask yourself that profound question of what do you really need? What bold action can you take to live your highest vibration? And so I again, I searched around. I searched around for real estate, which area, blah, blah, blah. And I knew when I knew. So uh, I found a building downtown West Palm Beach. And I just knew it was a perfect place for me to land, maybe not long term, but a place that would be extraordinary, that I'd meet lots of incredible people and that I could walk to everything. So I wouldn't be isolated out in the home. And I found a place. And it took back and forth with many, many contracts because it's a very popular building. Many of them fell through. And I was like, okay, I'm trusting. I know I'm going to be in that building. So I came back. I didn't have a contract. And this last week in practitioner, one of the topics was faith. And the definition of faith from a metaphysical standpoint is that we don't need to see proof in the world, right? We hold whatever we hold in consciousness, and we energize in consciousness, and we commit to with inspired action is our destiny. So I thought, okay, we got to practice faith. Let's practice. So what did I do? I didn't have a contract, and I began to have my movers come over and pack up my house. I was like, I have no idea. Don't know where I'm moving exactly. Don't know how it's going to look. I'm going to say it's that building, and I don't know how. And sure enough, I signed the contract, I think just a few days back. And my house is already almost packed. I've got the movers scheduled. They're coming to transport my car. And the storage unit is over there because I rented something that is furnished. I will live in that for until I find a home that I want to buy or one of the condos in the unit. And it's done. It's done. Meanwhile, someone could say, man, I'm stressed out. I've got to run this whole company, do all this stuff, teach and move and figure this out. And yeah, it could be a really stressful thing, but I know that with ease and grace, I'm supported at such levels. I have so many friends and amazing humans to pray for me and to know the truth. And I am so incredibly excited about this next chapter. And so if you're not excited about your future, my invitation is for you to take some really radical action. Because if you're not excited about your future, you're actually hurting people around you. Because look, if I'm not in my highest state, I am not going to be able to lift people up, right? Me in my highest vibration, I can do a lot. I can lift a lot of spiritual muscle. I can get a lot of stuff done. I can have a blast. I can be in flow. I can create miracles and help and pray for people and move some serious stuff on this planet. Me not thriving, it's fine. I still probably do way more than the average person. I still will be okay. It's not like I'm like depressed, like it's right. But me, the Erin, when she's really in that flow, you want her to be in that flow because it impacts a lot of people when I'm in that flow. And so I invite you again to really look and take bold, inspired action. And another distinction of this week in practitioner, which I think is one of the most profound distinctions because it's part of relationship breakthrough, it's part of prosperity mindset, it's part of everything. It's this. You can't have the good if you're not willing to receive the bad. So put it this way, okay? Anyone that comes in your life or a move over to a new country, essentially a different side of America, right? Anything that you want in your life, anything that you're ready to have, if you're not willing to take on the hard stuff that comes with it, if you only want the good part of people and you're not willing to also have the quirks and the hard times with somebody, then you can't have them, right? In relationship, if you only want someone that's perfect, then you're never going to be in a relationship. If you only want the perfect situation to move exactly and have it all perfect, then you're never going to move. The point is this, is the universe gives us everything. It wants to give us everything. It's our perception that something's not good and a part of it. It's the meaning and perception that we put around it. And so my invitation for you to step into this next part of your life in bliss, in sacrifice, and in a total prosperity of your highest frequency and vibration. I invite you to say yes. Without consideration, without thinking it's hard, oh my gosh, I shouldn't do that, without evaluating it, without contemplating it, without any of that, because once you know, you know. That's my invitation for you to say yes. Step into the unknown. This is where the magic happens. I could sit here all day and think, oh my gosh, my son's on the other side of the country. This is hard. I'm leaving all the contacts that I have in Los Angeles. Oh my gosh, my show, all this stuff. No, I am so incredibly excited. I'm so excited for the new flow and the new. I can come back if I want. If I don't like it a year from now or something's not flowing, it's easy. I can also, maybe I'll move to a different country. Who knows? I think we need to stay open and say yes and say yes and then pivot some more and then say yes some more and then receive only the good because you receive all, there's no resistance to the bad. We don't resist. That's not our job, because when we resist, we block it. We block the good as well. So we're here to have non-resistance and follow our bliss. And so in this, I am so incredibly excited, and thank you. So many of you guys have reached out, and I've had so many. Actually, I have multiple friends now already in West Palm. I have a few girlfriends. I have tons of people in Miami. I actually feel like business wise, and I feel like it's a really incredible move for me and for our community and for the movement, because we can jump over to Europe easy. We can have events. It's a little bit more free in Florida. I say hell yes. That's what I say. And I'm so excited. And I'm so excited for you to say hell yes to something in your life. It's about time that you say hell yes to yourself. It's about time that you say yes to allowing people to come into your life without pushing them away. It's about time for you to say yes to living in the unknown. It's time to say yes to new chapters. It's time to say yes to all those things that you woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's time, because there's only now. And it's only this life. And yes, you're eternally immortal, but in this body, it's only one life. So enjoy it, make the best of it. I sure the hell I'm going to. With no regrets, with only opportunities on the horizon. I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. As together we say, and so it is. So a beautiful day, you guys. May you live your truth. And I'm super excited also. We will be doing a challenge, a 5-day challenge. We haven't done one in a while, and we'll be doing a 5-day challenge in December. I believe it's the 13th to the 17th. And it's really exciting because we have so much fun in those challenges. We give so much content. So if you're somebody who wants to monetize as a soul-based entrepreneur and monetize your spiritual gifts, whatever it is, whether you have a service or a product, or you want to be a coach or whatever, you are going to break through and understand, who your client is, how to monetize, how to do sales, what to post on social media. We go front to back in 5 days. So get your big boy or big girl panties on and let's do this thing. We're going to rock and roll. Okay. You can sign up. I will put the link. It's actually not available. The link's not ready yet. It will be ready next week, but stay tuned. Okay, guys. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a spiritual calling or desire to get certified as a spiritual coach or a world-renowned spiritual leader, go to newthoughtglobal.com. If you've received value from this show, I would love it if you share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, we have spiritual practitioners that are trained to deliver the E4 trauma method and assist you in birthing your truth. So let's be friends on social media. Again, my handle is draaron.tv across all social media. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth.